Sound is such an important part of our gardening experience. The noise of the wind in the foliage when you're out for a walk in the park, or the sound of the chirping birds. The soundscape of the garden is an inseparable part of the experience of nature. And no sound is more soothing and calming than that of water. Hello, and welcome back to my channel, Garden Walks with Sasha. Today I will be looking at some of my favorite gardens of the Chelsea, where water was an integral part of the design. Without water, these gardens simply wouldn't be the same, and in some cases, there wouldn't be gardens at all. Water need not be a complicated or high-maintenance addition to your garden. Size garden. In a balcony garden category, a simple store-bought water feature was added to a great effect. The water simply recirculates over and over. Off-the-shelf fountains are a simple plug-and-enjoy solution to any terrace or balcony situation. A visit to any reasonable-sized garden center will have plenty of fountains and water features for any taste and budget. I went to my local nursery to see what pots would be suitable for a pocket water garden. The selection was great. From traditional to modern, they had something for any size garden. These double-wall containers actually come with a rubber cork to turn these pots into a watertight container perfectly suitable for beginner water feature. Let your imagination run wild when it comes to water in your garden. A plastic pot is sufficient to start an aquatic garden. Garden centers and nurseries have lots of attractive options that can easily be adapted to aquatic gardens. Small fountain kits will recirculate the water and add sound to your garden. In this garden, the designer cleverly used IBC container as a water garden. Marginal and aquatic plants are not particularly fussy and will do great in practically any type of container. For a bit more exotic and tropical feel in your garden, glazed pots can be used. As you can see, you don't need a very large or a deep one to grow miniature water lilies and other aquatic plants. Maybe a goldfish be added for summer to keep the mosquito larvae in check. Another container garden at Chelsea used water for its reflective quality. Here, a contemporary reflective pool offers mirror-like effect bouncing off the reflection of the rich vertical living wall. And right next door, a designer made a whimsical display of round planters using corrugated steel as her material of choice. The water feature has a waterproof container sitting inside. It can be anything, and all plastic garbage can cut down to size will be just fine. Just put it inside a fun container or a large basket for a bit of curb appeal. This garden is all about plants in a shade, and Arrowhead, with its narrow foliage, will make a great addition to any shady aquatic installation. But it's the sound of the bubbling brook in the woods, running over the well-worn river stones, that makes that special sound that is so desirable in a natural garden. If you have a garden with a slope to it, this type of water feature meandering through your garden will make a lovely addition, and the local wildlife would make regular visits for a drink or a bath. Back in 2019, Japanese designer Kazuyuki Ishihara created a stunning garden with several waterfalls tumbling into a pond where ripples of the water work as a distressing feature, designed to take away day's pressure through sound and visual experience in this meticulously choreographed installation. Cushion moss, anyone? It would only make sense that a big designer like Sarah Everly would have a big waterfall. But jokes aside, this garden takes falling water sound to a whole new level. This grandiose feature will drown out any city noise. In Finding Our Way Garden, in Sanctuary Gardens category, water is a tool communicating collective effort of everyone involved in UK's NHS during the pandemic. In this garden, water is presented and explored in several sound intensities as it meanders through the garden, spilling into shallow pools and continuing on its way to its final destination. Water can have a very soothing effect even without the sound. In Finnish Soul Garden, a small dipping pool is reminiscent of a cool woodland lake found somewhere in the Baltics. The grouping of boulders and clear water makes this garden work extremely well. The vessel the water is showcased in a garden clearly communicates the theme of the space. Here, water is contained in a circular powder-coated modern feature. Two long metal tubes spilling the water add to the contemporary feel of the space, as well as echoing similar shapes, sizes, and color in the composition. Repetition can be a very useful tool in garden design. You have to marvel at the imagination and technical skill of the designers and their installation teams. Look carefully at the leaves just below the water surface. Every so often, they flutter to life, almost as if disturbed by the wind, but below the water surface. This garden certainly deserves a much longer discussion. It stopped me in my tracks. In this garden, the positive effect of spending time on social media is celebrated. In this coastal theme installation, the designer Joe Perkins absolutely brilliantly turned the idea of water sound in the garden on its head. A pump hidden below the walkway generates waves that rush across the pond and crash into a miniature rubble beach, creating a familiar sound of the seaside waves lapping at the beach. The whole point of a show garden on Main Avenue is to inspire, and what an inspiration this garden is. The large pond seamlessly blending in with surrounding perennial water with its edges blurring, two environments blending in perfectly. Right next door is Yao Valley Garden. Here, Tom Massey installed fast-running stream meandering through the garden. Water journeys begin with contemporary Corten steel kettle trough, continuing through the garden, spilling over several small waterfalls, creating lovely background noise. In the M&G Garden, the general design concept is a pocket park as a shared space for people and wildlife. And any body of water, no matter how small, will attract wildlife. If by chance you have a slope garden and water feature is in your future, consider yourself lucky. Here is a perfect garden that showcases how effective the sound of water when it is falling from some height. Regulating the quality of water sound is one of the most challenging design components, but when one gets it right, it is so rewarding. The final garden in our look at the water features at the Chelsea is a garden between continents. The landscape, the planting, and the tumbling cascades of the pools of the Urals, a mountain range separating the Asia and Europe, is on display here. I hope the small collage of gardens gave you inspiration to try a water garden of your own. Installing a small water feature in your garden or your windowsill can bring a sense of tranquility and beauty to your garden space, no matter the size.